We'll continue lesson 5 from chapter 2, solving rational equations. In here, what we have to do, the first thing is to factor all the bottoms. So we have 3x over x plus 3, x plus 2, plus 2 over x plus 2, x minus 1 equals 5x over x plus 3, x minus 1. So that's what we have. Now again, as I mentioned in the previous lesson, what I do, I always like to get rid of the fractions right away. So I multiply everything by the lowest common denominator. And here is going to be x plus 3, x plus 2, and x minus 1. So again, as I said earlier, you compare this with this here, and I know the x plus 2 and the x plus 3 will cancel because you're multiplying this to the top, and you'll be left with x minus 1. So the 3x will be multiplied by x minus 1 plus, if you multiply this to the top, and that's what you do, like you just multiply it to the top because it's over 1, and if you multiply 1 on the bottom is just going to stay the same. If you multiply this to the top, the x plus 2 and the x minus 1 will cancel, and the 2 will be multiplied into the x plus 3 equals, I multiply this into here, and the x plus 3 and the x minus 1 will cancel, and I'm left with x plus 2. So we don't have any more fractions. Now just distribution and then collecting like terms. Most likely will equate to 0. We'll have a quadratic that we have to factor, so from the way I'm seeing it. So 3x squared minus 3x plus 2x plus 6, so I'm just distributing, equals 5x squared plus 10x. Now I'm going to move, I'm going to move everything to this side. 0 equals 5x squared. I'm just going to simplify this now. Negative 3x plus 2x is just negative x plus 6. Oops, hold on a second. Sorry, I don't want to confuse you there. And I think I'm confusing myself as well. So I'm moving everything to this side. So I'm not going to simplify. I'm just going to move all at once. So plus 10x. So this is still there, and I'm moving this now to this side. So become minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. So everything you move to the other side changes, changes the sign. And therefore 0 equals 5 minus 3 is 2x squared, like terms. 10 plus 3 is 13 minus 2 is 11. So we'll have plus 11x. And we just have the negative 6. Now, to, again, I'm just going to put a vertical line there. So to factor this, because we have a leading coefficient, it's not as easy to factor as if it didn't have a leading coefficient there that we cannot factor out. So we go 2 times negative 6, and that's negative 12. So we're looking for what multiplies to give us negative 12, and add to give me that number in the middle, the coefficient of x, which is 11. And the two numbers here will be 12 and negative 1. So this will factor into x plus 12 and x minus 1, not completed because we have a 2 right here. So always divide those numbers by the leading coefficient, and I'll have x plus 6. And then this doesn't divide, so I'm just going to push the 2 in front of the x there, minus 1. And that's how this factors. Just a fast way of factoring a quadratic with leading coefficient that you cannot factor out. Sorry, as soon as you do this, always, if you're solving rational equations, make sure you write your non-permissible values. So -3, -2, and 1. That's what makes all this bottom 0. So -3 will make this bottom 0, -2, and 1. So always you have to do that when you're solving rational expressions. So now we factor this. So 0 equals x plus 6 and 2x minus 1. And therefore, the answer is x equals -6 from here and 1/2 from there. And if you want to go through the process of doing that, you just go 2x minus 1 equals 0. 2x equals 1. Move the -1 to the side, divide both sides by 2. And that's how I got this number right there. And both of these numbers are permitted because they are not part of the restrictions. So finished. That's the answer for that one. Next one. So example 4 and the last example of lesson 5. Again, we don't have to factor here, but as I said, the previous example, the first thing, if you have it in factored form, write your restrictions, and the restriction here, x cannot equal 3. Now, at this stage, as I mentioned earlier, you have to multiply everything by the common denominator. The common denominator here is x minus 3. So this one is going to stay the same. And that one is going to stay the same, because when you multiply x minus 3 into here, they'll cancel. And you're left with x minus 4. When you multiply it into here, x minus 3 will cancel, and you're left with x minus 2. And you have to multiply everything, so even the right side of the equal sign, and then nothing cancels because it's over 1. So you'll have to multiply the x minus 3 into here. Now, this is 2x minus 6 equals x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6. 0 equals x squared. That's minus 3x minus 2x. And if we move the 2x to the other side, it becomes -2x. So that's all -7x. And -6, that's going to be 12. Now I factor. Two numbers multiply to give me positive 12 and add to give me -7 are these two numbers here. So therefore, x equals 4 and 3. But 3 is your restriction. So x cannot equal 3. So this has to be rejected. And therefore, your answer is x equals 4 only. That's our final answer. So I just want to make sure, hold on a second, I have a feeling that something is not right. Sorry, that's x minus 3 there. So that's going to change that to minus 3x, and that's a 9. So sorry, I'm just going to go and erase some of this. I made a mistake copying something. It would have been right if that was 2, but bear with me, please. So that's 2x minus 6 equals x squared minus 3x minus 3x is minus 6x plus 9. Move everything to one side, so 0 equals x squared minus 8x plus 15. Factor this, you're going to get x minus 3, x minus 5, and therefore x equals 5 and 3 from factoring. And as I said, 3 is a restriction, so you cannot accept it. You have to reject it, and therefore x equals 5. With these questions, it's very easy to make a mistake. The bigger the question is, if you're not careful and you're going fast, you'll end up making a mistake. So always good to go back and look and check if your answer works. Like the 5, just plug it into the x here, x there, plug it everywhere, and make sure the left side equaling the right side if you have time on the test. For me, I just quickly glance, I know I made a mistake, but just check in your while you're writing your tests, because it's especially rational equations, when you're solving them, it's very, very easy to make a mistake. I hope this helps. Till next time, stay safe. I'll talk to you soon.